All right, before we know it, the holidays will be upon us, and we'll be in that nonstop rush to get everything done. So while we are in the calm before the storm, now is a great time for your end-of-year financial checklist to make some key money moves to finish the year strong. So guiding us through it, Safe Harbor Retirement Group President Corey Sickles joins me in this sponsored segment. Hello, Corey.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
I'm good. It is kind of coming up on that end of the year. And why do you always say to your clients, like, now is a good time to really take stake, to really look and renew maybe what your promises are to yourself? The budget might be a good thing to look at, right?
Yeah. It's hard to believe we're already November
I
here.
know, right?
Time flies, but yeah, it's a good time to review your budget. Hopefully, most people are on some type of budget.
Right.
But it's a good thing to see if you can cut back on some things, right? There's so many subscriptions that everyone's actually signed up for. And you're really using all the subscriptions, but check your other things out. You might find out that you might be able to save a little bit more, and if you're working, it's hard to believe, but if you can save another $50 or $100 a month, you're just gonna be in such a better place when you do want to retire. But budgeting it's a big thing. You want to be able to start 2025 out the right way, and if you can save more, great, and if you can eliminate some of those costs, you're going to be better.
Okay, so after you look at your budget, another big thing that you advise, and this is not just for end of year, but now's a good time probably, is the Roth conversion. Tell us what that tool is and kind of what you would utilize that for.
Fourth quarter is always a good time to do that. And really what we're talking about is you want to make sure, especially if you're retired or maybe if you're not even retired, but are you maxing out your potential tax bracket that you're in, right? So let's just say you're making $80,000. The tax bracket for a 12% ends at $94,000. You might be able to, convert a little bit of your IRA money to a Roth, pay your taxes now while taxes are lower, and then that grows tax-free. And then when you retire, you're going to have some tax-free income, whether it's going to be earlier in retirement or later in retirement. But it's all really about taking advantage of paying the least amount of taxes long-term as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. So why is that something that, because we know taxes are only going up, is good now, or generally it's a good thing to do the end of the year?
I think it's a good time at the end of the year because you might spend things, right?
Right, like holiday spending and all that stuff.
Or not only that, but your income might be a little higher because maybe you had to go out and purchase a car, or you had to do some other type of purchases.
Gotcha.
So it's a good time to do it fourth quarter because you can kind of say, this is where I'm at.
Okay, take stake of where you're at. Okay, so we do have a little more than a month remaining in open enrollment. So you're also telling people right now, look at your coverage, right?
Yep, we're talking about Medicare, right?
Yes.
Yes, obviously, there's tons of commercials out there talking about it. There's a lot of changes with prescription drugs plans this year, Advantage plans. I just think it's always a good idea, and you should do this every year, but you should get a second opinion on your Medicare. That's one of the things that we're able to offer you. If visit our website or give us a call, we can provide a second opinion. It doesn't cost you anything, but things change. Doctors change. Maybe your health has changed. So it's a good way to be able to make sure that you're paying the least amount that you possibly can in insurance, because no one likes to pay more than they have to.
Yeah, in anything. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Okay, the other thing you said maybe look at, and this can go along with your saying, save another $50, $100 a month, is having an emergency fund, right? That's a big thing to consider.
Yeah, you might have had an emergency fund at the beginning of the year, but maybe you had to go out and purchase a few things, or unexpected expenses came up. So, it's always good to have anywhere 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses, saved in case something does happen where you can't work or you lose a job, so you can pay for some of those things. So I always recommend having some type of emergency fund because you don't know what's going to happen around the corner.
Okay. All right, Corey, the other thing is we're looking at our investment portfolios, right? If everybody has one, whether that's maybe in your, 401k or you have a separate portfolio, what should we look into as the year comes to a close with those kind of investments?
Well, I think it's always good to look and see where your risk tolerance is. We had a good year this year, right? So naturally, if whatever you have in the stocks, when you have over a 20% gain, your risk automatically increases. So it might be a good time to rebalance, to be able to make sure you lock in some of those gains, but more importantly, to make sure that you're at the risk level that you want. A lot of people are worried about tomorrow. Yeah. What's it going to do to my investment portfolio? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but but people are still worried about what's going to happen in 2025 on who wins the election and things like that. So it's a good way to be able to make sure that you feel safer at night, knowing that you rebalanced and it's you're invested the way you want to be invested.
And the other thing, and you know, we can't go into this because we're running out of time, but estate planning a big thing too. And so I think what you advise people is like talk to someone too before the end of the year, right? Sit down and go through all of these things.
That's exactly right. You can always, you know, obviously you can schedule a complimentary meeting with us. We can review all that type of stuff. But I highly would recommend that you do meet with an advisor. That's the things that we talk about are the things that we look into every year that we try to help our clients.
Okay. All right. I want to send people safeharboroh.com as always. That's the website. But reach out to Corey and his team today there at Safe Harbor. So thank you, Corey.
Thank you, Robin.